Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos.
I also, you're going to have to cut this out, got the best night of sleep last night because I locked George out of my bedroom so Roxanne could just relax and snuggle. And she snuggled so hard all night. I lightly woke up once and was right back to sleep. And I was like, fuck yes. Yes.
Oh my God, I'm definitely not cutting that out. Yay for sleep.
I was just like,
Yay
the
for
first
sleeping
time
happy
since
kitties.
what?
I mean, yes.
He came inside in January. And I think the first time since he was let out of the office, so mid-January, early February, that I have had a rather full night's sleep because those two haven't decided to fight.
So woke up this morning and was like, for the first time in forever.
It was like I wasn't angry at the birds singing.
So good last
I was like,
night.
oh, the birds. No, I'm like, shut up.
I'm glad you had your Disney moment this morning.
Did. It was
so
great.
Exciting for both of us.
It was great. Look, there's no circles or back. It's amazing.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Anyway.
So we are definitely ready to talk about community and why it matters. This was my idea to talk about. And actually, it's so funny that we're doing this today because this past week, I've had probably 3 different conversations with different agents that are just like, I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. I'm like, God, unhappy sucks. Whether it's work, family, personal, financial, unhappy is just not, it's not good.
No, it's not. And it
But here's the thing. A couple of them are like, I need to go, do a boutique brokerage or something that I can be in the office with people and have a community. And I'm like, we need to play that noise. It's like, stop, slow down. Because sometimes that's not where you find community. Right?
Not for me, that's never been where I found it. Even when I was in a firm with an office.
Exactly.
It was the exact opposite. It was
team.
Cold War in there.
I've been on a team and that wasn't really community. That wasn't great, in a brokerage, a brick and mortar brokerage where you go in and those, I don't know, it's a little cold shoulder. I didn't have a lot of community there. I made a lot of good friends, and those good friends are still the community that is part of what we built, like that little Statesville group, the coffee group. But listen, those people were from all different brokerages, and some of them still are.
Yep.
And I think that that's such a huge piece of what people are missing is that I have to go to this building to find this community. It's very similar to... And not to get into religion and politics or whatever, but going to a church. You want to go to a church to find your people. And listen, your people could be scattered at Food Lion and at Publix. But Publix people would never shop at Food Lion. You have to bring those people together, right? To create this environment where you can learn from each other, where you can be honest, where you can be open, where you can be vulnerable, and you can also be a leader.
Well, and I was actually going to use a church example, so you're fine. Because I was going to say it's a lot like when you and I relocated. We are from different areas of the country, right? And I remember when I moved here, my stepmom being very concerned. I did not know a single person in Charlotte. We had one distant family, used to be a very close family friend, but since he had moved here, had become, is a recluse the right word? Doesn't leave his house at all. And no one had really heard from him in a long time. So I'd sent him a message that, hey, I'm moving, would love to see you. That was 10 years ago. Have never seen or heard from him. But she was very concerned.
Okay.
She was like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to find your community? She's like, and she said, your sister was at church. That's not your thing. And I was like, yeah, CrossFit. We'll be fine.
You're right.
So my people were in a physical space, but I also still had my friends in New York that I communicated with and people who went to other boxes that I met at meetups, things like that. You can build a community without sitting in an office together. And it's not hard to do. I'm trying to think. So I was at one brick and mortar firm. I have one person I talk to twice a year from that office. And usually it's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, you just went to new construction. Cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's it. But people from my cloud firm,
community there.
or even two, because I was at a different firm first, I'm still very close to some of those people. Like, I talk to them all the time, every day. I get coffee with some of them multiple times a week. It's, you can build a community where you want it to be. And if you don't have it where you are, I'm not going to say it's the firm's fault, but it's one of those where, what is the common denominator? Are you the type of person going out to find a community? Is it because there's a culture there that's very isolating, very, you can't leave your pipeline, blah, 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 blah? Okay, maybe it is the firm's fault.
Your cubicle, you stay in your office, I'll stay in mine. We work together, but that's it.
Or is it...
Well, and I feel like people, want to just, walk into a community, right? But somebody had to start that community, and if you're not in a place that has something like that, maybe you are that person that brings people together.
Exactly.
There's a lot of little introverted people that I'm friends with, that maybe wouldn't have all banded together because of who they are as people.
Right.
But I think that's the differences are other people's strengths and weaknesses balance each other out, which specifically talking about building community inside of real estate is so powerful because even you and I, we have very different views on things, different ideas, and we're able to, outside of this podcast, even be like, I'm doing this. And, I never would have thought of that. I really like that. And, oh, you're doing a her box. That's so cool. I actually would take that and do it as a pizza box.
Right.
We can, it's just, I don't know. And that's how people grow because you're able to challenge each other and also be there when your seller is being a twatsicle.
Yeah. I can't believe
it's from a comic book.
Oh, I can't believe you just said that on the podcast. Please do not edit that out. I was not expecting that word to come out of your mouth.
I wasn't gonna say it, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just say it.
Well, and I think the other thing
it'll either resonate with the right community or it won't.
Or we're gonna get unfollow. There goes our subscriber count.
All of those people that we've built up have just been like, oh, Brenda just said that word. Why would she do that?
So the other thing I think though is one of the isolating factors in our profession is a lot of people see competition over collaboration. And that's not how it should be. Is that our firm's motto? Absolutely. But I really feel like it should be the industry motto because, and my coach said this to me one time, if all you're doing is cheering for them to burn, then you're really cheering for you to burn. Because if they burn, then people are going to have less respect for the industry as a whole. So that's how I looked at it.
Seriously, that's the biggest thing.
Right? I looked at it as collaboration. Okay, how can we work together to make all of us better? Because a lot of people in the community, if you believe social media, hate us. So if you can find a way to collaborate, that will help you build that community. And honestly, those people are usually the agents you're going to sign a contract with at some point. I mean, so if you're nasty and snarky, you're going to build a rep. I don't care how big your MLS is. I don't care if you're in the Dallas MLS that has 20-something thousand agents or more.
You're going to run into somebody
gets around.
Nice.
And so you need to build that community. You have to be authentic about it. I truly am, always have been, the person that wants to see everyone succeed. I remember when I first started CrossFit, I was I want everyone to be able to do this. And I want, we went to an open gym and did this random workout together that I found. And we're just cheering everyone on. And my coach at the time was so when are you going to go get your coaching cert? And I was I'm not. And he was but you are. I can get you have to be the person, you have to be authentic about it. And it can't be for your personal gain if you want to build a community. Like, you have to truly want to have that community, I think.
People can sniff that out a mile away. If you're just like, oh, I want to be your friend and I want to help and I want to talk to you. If you're going to like be on my team or join a brokerage and listen, there's right ways and wrong ways to go about like being a good human, I guess. But I feel like, and we talk about this too, like coming from a place of contribution, like it wins every time because listen, here's the thing. And we talk about all the things that we do on this podcast, right? There are people that would never share this information about what's working for us.
No.
Why? Because it's a cutthroat industry and people are so worried that somebody's going to go out there and take their idea and do it better or steal their clients or market in the same spot, whatever it is. Here's the thing. How many of you guys have listened to this podcast to our, spring marketing ideas or this and haven't done a single one of them? How many of you? Mm-hmm. Right? There's a lot that, and I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. Have I done it yet? Nope. And the chances of somebody else being able to directly replicate and do it exactly the same way you would, it either won't work because it's not genuine and authentic to them and who they are. And people are like, why are you bringing me packets of seeds? That's weird. You don't like plants,
Right.
Or it's just going to hit differently because they're a different person. It's going to reach a totally different audience.
Yep. And I think we've touched enough on the why and the emotional of the how. I'm ready to switch into like tactical. Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do we do this? How do we build the community that we want other than just being authentic and being ourselves and being true and collaboration? One that I've done, and I've done it intra brokerage. So it's just agents in my brokerage. And I've done it inter brokerage. So it's between other brokerages. Like coffee hour or coffee meetups, happy hours. I haven't done an educational event yet. That's definitely next on the list. But like different networking events, collaborate those. And they don't have to cost anything. I have never spent a penny on these. I host a monthly meetup for agents in our firm. We rotate between coffee and happy hour so that people can get, what works for their schedule every month. And that's helping us build a community. Like I've gotten leads on different properties I may not have known, I've met other agents who I'm like, hey, you are good in that area, 45 minutes from me? Cool, I'm going to send you the leads for that because I don't fucking want them. But, and then I've done it.
It's a long drive.
Right? And I've done it for agents from any firm. Hey, come grab coffee with us. We have a standing meeting every Friday. Agents from any firm, people from outside the industry, or neighboring industries, come have coffee with us. Like sit down, hang out. It's BYO. Or, buy your own coffee, BYOC. But that has helped expand my network, expand my community. It's exposed me to people I've never thought I would meet or be introduced to. And, it shows other people, they see me on social media. I've gotten that more than once. Oh, I recognize your voice from a podcast. Oh, that's weird. Or I know you, but why? Did you change your hair? Yes, it's not purple anymore. That's it. So
you should have kept the purple hair. I told you.
No, I just need to update my headshots. I mean, purple may come back at some point, but not today. But it's, and you have to remember that these are not, well, they may seem casual and laid back. They're still a professional setting. You still have to behave like a professional. You still have to present professionally and speak professionally, and not buttoned up in your suit and tie, but in a way you can't be like, oh my God, there is a mortgage lender that shows up to some of these that I'm just like, and she just begs for business. She's from out of state, moved here a year ago, and just shows up, hot mess express, begging for business. How did you get your business started here? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, give me knowledge. Give me something of value. Why are you great? Why should I send my clients to you? What programs do you have? So you have to remember, like, yes, we're showing up jeans, t-shirts, it's coffee, it's happy hour, but it's still a professional setting where, like, we're not getting schnockered and we are not begging for business. Like, you have to present professionally. And that's worked really well for me.
I think,
what was that?
Listen, this, very something, oh my gosh, I just had a stroke. I have to edit that out. Goodness. I just tripped over like 7 words, and none of them were the one that I wanted to come out. Okay. Maybe I won't edit that out either. It'll just be, this is real.
This is the real life today,
raw. Oh, golly. I was going to say, the Statesville Squad is very similar to that. We call it the Statesville Squad. I don't know. It's been that way forever, I think. Coffee. But listen, we don't go and are like, oh, gosh, like, because we service a lot of different areas. Like, who do you know that's moving? Like, this is an issue that I'm having with marketing this listing. We've had this many showings. We've had this for feedback. What do I tell my seller, right? And we're able to, like, bounce ideas off each other and help each other out based on our own experiences, right?
Right.
And we have a group text, too. This doesn't have to be all in person all the time. We have a group chat. There's crap that goes in there every day. And it's great. And it just reminds you that there's also somebody out there that doesn't want to make that call, that doesn't want to go gen today because it's beautiful. It's 70-something degrees outside. We want to just sit on the porch with the dogs. That's what we wanted to do. And I feel like the more real it is, the easier it is for people to, like, connect. Right. And that's where the relationships come in. So when somebody calls them that's like, hey, I'm looking for an agent that services Morganton, and they're like, that's a little far for me, but guess what? Anna does Morganton.
Right.
That's you. It might not be direct referrals from those specific people, but it's about the people who know the people who need to know you. Right?
Yep.
It just spreads.
And I think
grows.
I think your example of the text message is a great example. Like, it doesn't have to be in person. What about online communities? Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, like things like that. That's how Brenda and I met. Like, that's literally how you and I met.
That group, yep. The Girls with Grit group, literally, I was ready to not be in real estate anymore. You know? Like, I was like, I don't think I can do this. And I think it was Marley that added me into the Girls with Grit group. And it's just something that there's people from all over the country. We're all doing the same business. Obviously, it's different nuances state to state to state to state. But there's something about seeing other people also working and struggling the same struggles, or seeing those highs and seeing those lows, that makes it very real. You're not in an office setting, working at a dentist or something where we're all just like here and we're here 9 to 5 and we all do the same work. Like, we say this a lot. It's a lonely business if you choose it to be a lonely business. But surrounding yourself with those people that challenge you and that you're able to also challenge those people, it does. It comes full circle a lot of the times.
Yep. And, like, you don't have to create the group. You don't. Like, find something like that. Find, moms in real estate, dads in real estate, singles in, and maybe it's within your firm. Like, our firm has, we use Work Vivo. It's similar to what Workplace was. And there's different groups in there for, like, solo agents or husband and wife teams and all the things. And so just jump in there. But, like, there are agents all across the country that I know from those groups who I know in person, or, like, from, like, we have a group within our firm on Facebook, and some of those people have become my best agent friends across the country. And so I talk to them. I call them while I'm driving. Like, it doesn't have to be one you create, but I think as long as you show up authentically in those, like, don't just go in and expect, like, to sit there, like, just like you would with trying to get leads, a fly on the wall, and expect people to be like, oh, I noticed that Alyssa's in this group. She joined 6 months ago, but she's never commented, liked, put forth anything, but I'm going to send her a referral. I'm going to be her friend. Doesn't work that way. You have to participate.
I was just going to say that, like, being a part of the Facebook group, being a part of the group or going to the event and sitting at a table by yourself or with the two people that you already know is not building your community.
Right.
If somebody makes a post and asks a question and you have an answer, go ahead and like put your 2 cents worth in, like be a proactive part of the community. Also, don't go in somewhere and just join the Debbie Downer club because nobody likes the Debbie Downer club.
Right.
Like, it's hard. Be in there, be proactive, be encouraging, be helpful, ask your own questions, be vulnerable, let other people help you, and take that information. I mean, maybe you don't use what they're offering, maybe you don't jive with how they do it, but take that information and do something with it.
Exactly. Yeah, because you're not getting a thing out if you don't. Like, you have to. And it's just like you mentioned, sitting at a table alone. Like, okay, let's take it out of a Facebook group. You go to a lunch and learn, you go to a networking thing. And I'll tell you, I fell victim to this last week because I was in a mood and it was cold and I had a lot to do. And I went to a lunch and learn and I didn't talk to anyone. I learned because it was not a good lunch and learn. And then I scooted because I was freezing. They planned it outside in the cold with no backup plan. But anyway, if you're like at a table with people or you're going to these things and you're not talking to people and you're not networking, what do you expect? That's like being in high school, sitting in your locker all day, never going to class, never joining a club, and expecting to be voted prom queen. Doesn't work that way. Like, you have to participate. And if you're shy, I get it. Or you're in a mood, I get it. But just do it. Like, I promise.
Listen, I have to tell you, Alyssa sent me a text last week of a picture because I just went to a real estate convention a few weeks ago, and she says, "Girl, what is happening with your face?" And I'm like, "Oh, you think that's bad? You should see this picture." And I sent her another one. And listen, you guys, I am the friendliest person, I swear.
The thing is, though, that picture I sent you, I know you well enough to know that someone said something fucking stupid at that table, and you were like, okay.
I just can't control my face.
Me either. So I don't play poker. That, and I don't know how.
I am a very helpful person. The number of people I spoke to at that convention, personally, one-on-one, at a table setting, and we had great conversations. And then I look back, because they had this professional photographer and videographer through the whole event, and I just see snippets of my face that looks like, this girl hates it here.
But that's just that's the moment they happen to catch. Like, I feel like that's in wedding photos too. Like, you see people on the dance floor and they're really having the time of their life, but because it's the middle of an emotional reaction, it's like you're like, what is happening?
What is happening with your face?
But yes, like,
you can be shy, you can have RBF, and you can still build a community.
Land at a national stage. But,
right.
But at least, even if you're not going to start the conversation, when people start it, don't be like, and walk away. Like, engage. You have to do that with clients. Pretend they're a client until you're comfortable. Like, pretend it's a potential listing. Like, but you have to, on some level, put yourself out there. You have to, if you want to build a community.
Yep.
I don't know how else you would. Like, again, even if it's online, you have to participate so people know you exist. Another great way to do this, and this is where I've met some fantastic agents, is during a transaction. Like, we're not going to go get coffee while we're negotiating things, but afterwards, they're getting a thank you note and hey, you want to go grab a cup of coffee? Like, I would love to pick your brain. I would love to just get to know you more. Like, it's a great way to, and just compliment them. Be like, hey, I really loved how you handled this part of this, even if it didn't help my clients. It was great.
Right.
Can we talk about that? Because I'd love to be able to learn more. Or I would just like, to know more agents in the area. I think that's an awesome
Because again,
way.
we both want the same thing, ideally, in this transaction to get to the closing table. And it only happened once. I mean, I'm in a pretty small area, but there's a lot of real estate agents here. And I offered on a property and we got the offer. And she'd email back and she's like, I let the sellers know that we've already worked together, that you're, very reliable. The communication's great. We're not going to have to worry about like what's happening. And she's like, and I mean, I submit a like resume letter essentially with offers, so they know what to expect from me as the agent as well. Because listen, sometimes you work with an agent that just does not have anything together, much
or
less
they're
the
a jerk.
transaction.
Like,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's hard. So you want to set that precedent. Like, listen, I'm a reasonable person to work with. Like, I'm going to stand up for my client and do what's best by them, but I'm going to do what's best by us in this transaction. Like, I'm not going to be a jerk about it unless you're a jerk to me, and then I will be a jerk about it. But that was cool because she's like, listen, we had a great transaction. I was actually very excited at the opportunity to do that again. And that's what you want, especially in our smaller markets like this, because you're going to see those same. I show houses all the time that I'm like, I know them, I know them,
Mm-hmm.
I know them, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah, you have to. Like, you, even if it's been a crappy situation, and okay, we're not going to ask them to coffee, but we're still going to be nice when we see them, right? Like, they don't need to know you don't like them. Like,
you know, what's even
there's
cooler?
An agent who I did a deal with.
If you leave them a review.
What?
We have a delay today.
I know, we have a delay, and I was talking and you can't, and I couldn't hear you.
Mm-hmm. I was just saying, another crazy thing that nobody does, leave the other agent a review.
Yes, I love that one.
Go on there, leave a review. I worked with John Doe on a closing at this, whatever, in June, and whatever, say something nice. Mm-hmm. That's mind-blowing to an agent. Why? Because this is a cutthroat industry, and we're not nice to each other.
Well, and you know what? We talked about referral VIPs and how to nurture referral agents. That's a great way. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, if I sent out a referral and I know they took great care of my client, I always am sending a thank you card. They're going in my VIP referral program for that year, but I'm also going to jump on their Google page and leave them a review that says they took great care of my clients. I met, however, it's a great way. So even if they're not people in your area or people you've done a specific, person-to-person transaction with, there are ways, to build that network. Again, you don't have to be in the same town and to build that community. I think that referral idea is wonderful. And I think that kind of goes into our next thing is, that will support them when the markets change. Because now people are going to go Google them and...
right now.
Right now. But that's the other thing. When markets get slower, or one thing I've seen a lot of people doing is I need one transaction to hit elite status. Okay. Well, if I refer one to them, it counts as a transaction for me as a referral and a transaction for them. Okay. I might do a higher referral rate or something and be like, yeah, let's get you there and hope it comes around back. But if it's a slow market, I'm not saying you have to give up your business, but offer that encouragement. Maybe there's something that you have found that's suddenly working to get you business. Share it. Talk to people about it. Don't hold that and think, oh, well, I'm just going to get all the business and screw them. That's going to give you the opposite type of community that you want.
Yeah, because you're going to have no community.
Right.
Because you've alienated yourself and put yourself on this island where nobody can reach you and you're not willing to share anything with anybody. But ultimately, the end of the day, the idea behind this is to make our industry better as a whole, to make our lives easier, right? If you're working with these people, if you are communicating and sharing these ideas, it's good for the soul. It's good for the business. Why wouldn't you want to do that? It also creates a reputation, a good reputation for people, not just real estate agents, but for people seeing you in the community and people who know you outside of that realm. It's just it's a win-win-win-win-win. I feel like so many people treat themselves like they're on the outside looking in, and they're like, oh, I bet if I worked there, I would have that relationship, that close friendship bond, that community that I see. But it's just like marketing, it's just like anything we talk about. They could be in that situation and still not have that community, that bond, that relationship, because they're not putting any effort in. It's just like a regular friendship, you know?
Right.
And listen, I've got friends that, heck, I'm terrible. I'll text them once in 3 months, 4 months, and we pick up right like nothing ever happened. But this isn't about like every day I have to text this like community group so they know that I exist. This is like sometimes things happen.
Right.
Be authentic, be real, and just be friendly and easy to talk to. And sometimes be okay, like get the answer wrong. It's okay. Like be real. And then the rest of it will fall into place.
Yeah, and
right? Like Alyssa and I's first conversation was about her purple hair.
it was.
Literally.
It
First
was,
conversation.
girl, I can't believe you did that. That's awesome. And I was like, thanks. I'm terrified.
I know. And then it just, here we are.
Here we are, 4 years later.
5 years later.
Yeah, 5 years later.
It's almost 5. It'll be 5 this year, I think.
Yeah. I think we're at, yeah, somewhere between 4 and 5.
I forget if that Gridiron Challenge was in 2020 or 2021. Those years blend together.
I feel like it was 2020. I'm pretty sure it was fall of 20.
So then in September is our anniversary.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe we can actually see each other.
Maybe.
But, and so, like, if you don't have a community, and I think this is how we started this topic, is you are going to feel lonely and isolated, and you're not going to get the referrals. And, you know, it's just like being a secret agent and not marketing yourself, not talking about yourself. So I think we need to talk about, like, what's the long-term impact of building that? I mean, some of it I just mentioned. Referrals, better transaction experiences, a stronger reputation professionally. Like, but I also want to talk, like, the emotional part of it is, like, you feel like you're part of something. You're not going to experience that burnout as much. You're probably going to last in the industry. So what, beyond looking at the you feel alone right now, I think people need to look at what they really want long term and how building this community or working towards finding a community will impact them in the long term. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, find a community. Just figure out what you need in a community. What are you missing?
Right.
Are you missing that accountability text every day? Are you missing having somebody to be able to call when you have a question that you don't know the answer to? Are you missing the nobody was really talking, we're all just drinking coffee and working, but we're all together? Like, I feel like I'm not alone at my kitchen island. What is it that you want to be a part of? What is it that will make a difference for you personally, mentally, in your business? And find that piece. Put yourself out there.
Right.
Listen, I see posts all of the time in moms groups locally. It's like, hi, I'm new here. I'm 30 years old. I have 2 kids. I like coffee, Dunkin', not Starbucks, you know, like that kind of thing. They like put their little resume out there and be like, if you're interested in being my friend, please comment below.
Right. It's like Bumble Friends, but in real life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's a great way to start. Like, you can start small, compliment another agent, see if they want to get coffee, share a resource. If you have like a killer buyer form, whatever, share it. Like, be like, hey, I noticed this. This is what I use. I'd love to share it with you. Things like that, that will get the ball rolling. But you have to put yourself out there. And I think, well, it doesn't necessarily need to be like a checklist thing. I do think you need to commit. Like, you need to work on this weekly. You need to work on this. And not even just to build a community, but to maintain one, to maintain those friendships. Like, even if it's just a text message of, hey, girl, haven't heard from you in a while. What's up? You okay over there? Or like, hey, I'm going to be getting coffee here. If you want to join, like, I'd love to see you. But you have to work on it, just like you would regular friendships. You can't just disappear and expect to be invited to the wedding. That's not how it works. Right. You have to be a friend. You can't
just join the Facebook group and expect to be part of the community.
Right.
Because there's thousands of people in that Facebook group that just sit there and don't do anything. But those people, those few hundred people that are actively involved and building those friendships and that community, that's the circle that you want to be in.
Right.
Not the outliers that are just watching the posts. And I mean, you can get a lot of information and learn a lot of stuff by trolling, but that doesn't fill your cup,
right,
either.
Exactly. So I think that's everything. Like,
yeah.
We've given you ways to do it. We've given you why you should do it, how to do it, when to do it, who, what, when, where. We've given you that. So now you just got to do it. And if you don't know where to start, hey, you want to join my friend group? Send me a DM. Send Brenna a DM. Like, if you're listening to this and you're like, I am that agent. I am isolated. Roll on over here. Send us a DM. Send us an email. And we will, bring you into our fold. Like, that's one great way to start. Even if it's like a rock star agent that may not remember you, send them the DM. Send them the compliment. I did it with someone one day. It was Katie Day. She's a rock star in my world. And we were going to the same event that I got invited to last minute, and I wasn't sure like where to stay if there were any like outside things happening to book flights and stuff. So I just sent her a DM. And then when I saw her there, I was like, hey, thanks for the info. She's like, oh yeah, you're so welcome. Like, and then I talked to her a couple times. Like, that's a great way to do it.
So 9 times out of 10, those people that you're like, oh my gosh, they're so cool. They're up on a pedestal. Like, they sell so many houses. They are just normal people just like you. Say hello.
Mm-hmm.
Say hello.
Say hello.
Sometimes they're terrible people and they don't want to talk to you. But most of the time, they are great people. Stop laughing.
Most of the time. But no, it's true. Just slide into those DMs. Can we make that the title of this episode? Slide into those DMs and build that community.
My DMs. Okay.
All right.
Well, I
on
think
that note, y'all.
So we will see you next week.
Bye.
We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.